Hello, this is Archie Dunlop with Talking Astrology with Archie on Wednesday, May the 17th, 2023. Today I was stuck for ideas. As you know, I like to talk about a chart every day, something perhaps current, maybe talk about Trump or Biden or someone else. And today I was stuck for ideas. So as an absolute last resort, I went to the Daily Mail's website. Now, the Daily Mail's website is not really something I particularly enjoy. It's very cluttered. It seems to have a capacity to jam my computer. I don't know why. Maybe I'm looking at it without using the right app or something. Anyway, I don't really like the Daily Mail website. But nonetheless, as a last resort, I did use it to give me inspiration. So, what did I find? I found this story. Rudy Giuliani, 78, made former business consultant 43 perform oral sex on him while he was on speakerphone to Trump because it made him feel like Bill Clinton. $10 million sex assault lawsuit claims. Now, that is a massive sentence. There's a lot to unpack there, and I don't even know if I want to unpack it. But it does give me my inspiration. I want to look at Rudy Giuliani's horoscope. So that's what I'm going to do. See if there's any indication that he might be getting into this kind of trouble. I'm reminded of that film, the Borat film. Was it the Borat film where he got into a difficult situation with the actress there? I don't know. You can look at the details, but it was certainly very embarrassing for him. So let's now move to his horoscope. So this is Rudy Giuliani. Now, if you don't know who Rudy Giuliani is, he's a former mayor of New York. He's a Republican. He has been closely involved with Donald Trump, and he has somewhat fallen from grace in the last few years. So let's see what's going on here. Now, in a positive way, you can see why he's so successful. By the way, he's a lawyer. That's his original profession. We can see he's got Saturn in Gemini, close to the midheaven. That is a great position for Saturn. Saturn is in Gemini. Saturn is the ruler of the air signs by day. And it's a daytime chart, you'll see, because he was born early afternoon. So Saturn likes being around in the daytime, and Saturn is above the horizon. So that's great. I mean, Saturn is a diurnal planet. It's a planet that functions best during the day. And it's in Gemini. Saturn is a masculine planet, and it's in a masculine sign. So that is a great Saturn, and that really does indicate someone who can reach the peak of their profession and can be mayor of New York. And so that's really what stands out. But there are other things going on. He's got Neptune on the ascendant. He's got 2947 Virgo rising. Now, given his chart is 2:30 p.m., that's a rather round number, 2:30 p.m. I mean, he could have Libra rising. We don't know for sure that he really has Virgo rising. Maybe it's Libra, but whatever, he has got Neptune. He's got Neptune rising, and so when you've got Neptune rising one's connections with the world can be a bit sort of nebulous. One has the capacity to deceive and to give an impression that one is one person and actually being someone else. So that is an aspect of Neptune rising. We see a load of planets in Leo. Moon in Leo, Jupiter in Leo, Mars in Leo. This suggests someone who has a very high opinion of himself. I mean, he thinks he's great. This may extend not just to his professional life, but maybe his perception of himself as a man. And this perhaps says something about his sexuality. He has a high opinion of what he can do. And I mean, I know that he had prostate cancer, but he survived it. And it didn't seem to diminish his ability to get himself into trouble, like we saw in the Borat film. And what else? So that's his Leo. He's got all his planets above the horizon. So when you all up here. So if you've got a chart with a lot of planets above the horizon, that's someone who is in the public eye that may not be sufficiently grounded. It seems to lack anchoring, this chart. He is, he's in his late 70s. How old is he? He's going to be 79 very soon. Yet, while he should be retiring, he's still being reported on by the Daily Mail. That seems to be a sort of a quite unbalanced chart. It's reflected in what's going on in his life. He's kind of too old for that. I mean, regardless of whether or not that allegation is true. I mean, I have no idea. He's in the press. He can't keep away from it. So as far as the specific allegation is concerned, I don't know. I always like to look at the Venus-Mars midpoint when you're talking about anything to do with relationships, sexuality. See if anything interesting turns up. So there's his Venus at 29 Taurus. There's his Mars at 3 Leo. So the midpoint is somewhere sort of about there. That would be in early Cancer, very early Cancer. And then we find that Neptune is actually square his Venus-Mars midpoint. So Neptune on a Venus-Mars midpoint, what does that mean? Neptune is about that fogginess, the deception. As far as what Reinhold Ebertin says, now Reinhold Ebertin, one of my favourite astrologers, combination of stellar influences. If you're into astrology, combination of stellar influences is certainly a book you should own. So as far as what Neptune on a Venus-Mars midpoint is about, let me just read what Ebertin says. Of course, this is a bit of a generalization, but he says, Neptune on the Venus-Mars midpoint, pathological or abnormal craving in sex relationship, the negation of the love urge, the inclination to perversity, disappointment in sex relationship. He also says appendicitis. I'm not quite sure how that works, but that's Ebertin. So with Neptune on the Venus-Mars midpoint, Giuliani needs to be careful how he handles his sex life, because Neptune could lead him into areas that he potentially doesn't really want to go. So those are some thoughts on Rudy Giuliani's horoscope. I don't know a lot about him, But yeah, Neptune on the Venus-Mars midpoint, it can be a problem. So, as far as today's stars are concerned, today, Wednesday, let's see what's going on today. So, in many respects, it's quite a good day because you'll see that Jupiter is now in Taurus. There's a conjunction between Moon and Jupiter, which, yeah, is really fortunate. The Moon is exalted in Taurus. It's conjunct Jupiter, so there's a really strong Moon here. We can respond to other people in a natural and spontaneous way. There's a sensuality to the environment. It may be a day for touching and hugging and all that kind of stuff, depending on the situation. We were talking about Biden yesterday. Biden has got Moon in Taurus, and we've talked about Biden perhaps admitting about him being inappropriately physical in the way he deals with certain people. So one does have to be a bit careful there. But overall, Moon conjunct Jupiter in Taurus, it's a grounded day. It's a day when when we can relate to people extremely well. Also, Mercury is making a sextile to Saturn, and Mercury is now going direct. And so when you've got Mercury sextile Saturn, it's a time for serious thinking. It's a day when we can articulate ourselves very well. We can get to the point. We can state the facts, and I think make a very good impression. On the downside, well, Jupiter in Taurus is good, but Jupiter is making a square aspect to Pluto. We could take things too far. Jupiter square Pluto is about the frantic desire to improve ourselves. The way we are right now it just isn't good enough. We want to be better and better and better. And yeah, that's good in moderation, but we don't want to overdo it. At the same time as this is going on, the Sun is on a fixed star, and that fixed star is Algol. That's Arabic. Caput Algol. Well, the Algol, I think it means the ghoul. And caput, Latin for head. Head of the demon is what the Sun is on. If you're into Greek mythology, that is the Medusa's head. Is it Perseus? Perseus holding up the Medusa's head. Remember Medusa? She was the one that could. She was a gorgon, and she could turn you into stone. If you saw her, that was it. You were done. You were turned to stone. So there may be an Algol feel to the day. Random acts of nastiness, for example. People just being unkind for the sake of it. And I think perhaps a bit of jealousy with the Sun on Algol. This jealousy often relates to looks. Women being jealous of each other because of the way they look. It can be men as well. People wanting to undermine each other for something petty like physical appearance. So bear that in mind. And if you start feeling jealous of someone for some trivial reason, you've got to back off because it's not going anywhere nice. At the same time, don't get too upset if other people are jealous of you. Perhaps you should see it as a compliment. Anyway, as far as the 12 signs are concerned, I will quickly go through them. Aries, Focus on money. There are ways of boosting your income, but you need to be consistent. Taurus, you can feel that events are moving your way, but good luck can never be taken for granted. Gemini, you're surprisingly disciplined, and at work you know what is required of you. And the reason I'm saying Geminis are surprisingly disciplined is because Mercury, ruler of Gemini, is making a fortunate sextile aspect to Saturn. Cancer, a fortunate day when you can be honest and open about your plans for the future. Leo, you certainly know where you're heading, but today there is a certain amount of jealousy, and the reason I'm saying that is because the Sun, ruler of Leo, is conjunct this fixed star, caput Algol. Virgo, your ideas aren't as crazy as they sound. Self-discipline can bring these ideas down to earth and can make them happen. Libra, you benefit from going behind the scenes, forensically analysing the underlying cause of things. Scorpio, it's not a day for being on your own. Other people can make a big difference. Sagittarius, the worst part is starting. Once the wheels move, the rest becomes easy. Capricorn, you've got lots to say and you know how to communicate with serious intent. Aquarius, if you get too close to someone, they could turn you to stone. Otherwise, a good day. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because the opposite sign to Aquarius is Leo. And if you're an Aquarius, Leo has a particular relationship to relationships. And the ruler of Leo is the Sun, and it's conjunct Algol. And finally, Pisces. You're feeling more comfortable, and it's a good day for a brief visit. So, as far as the I Ching is concerned, if you don't want to look at today's events astrologically, as far as the I Ching is concerned, I threw the coins, as usual, asking the question, what is today going to be like for visitors to my YouTube channel? And the first hexagram I got was all unbroken lines. Imagine 6 lines, one on top of the other. And this is hexagram number 1, the creative. It's a day when we can be incredibly creative. We can start things. You know, we are the ones who can make things happen. Our creativity it's primal. It's the beginning of the great movement, and that's us, the beginning of the great movement. And this creative energy transforms to hexagram 30, and it makes this transformation with 2 lines breaking, the 2nd and the 5th line breaking. And this indicates that our reliability and our self-worth are going to be obvious, and as a result we can spread our influence. And this moves to 30, which is the clinging. And the clinging is about good things being attracted to us. They cling to us, and as a result our influence spreads. So the I Ching is suggesting that for all of us here, it can be a great day when we can make things happen and we can have a real influence on the events going on in our world. So that's all I'm going to say for today. And I will talk to you tomorrow.